will soar higher in the coming months and is expected to approach $20 trillion by the time President Obama leaves office. Now, don't let that $20 trillion figure scare you too much, because the real fact is we also have about $70 more trillion in unfunded liabilities due to Social Security and Medicare, Medicaid, right? So you're talking $100 trillion in debt. That's what this country owes. That's what we will owe. And that figure is just staggering. If you've never seen any of the videos on YouTube about what $1 trillion looks like, you need to probably take a look at that, because it is staggering, it is mind-boggling, and it is what is destroying our country. We can't do any more quantitative easings that will take care of that, because you know what? You don't come back from this kind of debt. We are as bankrupt a country as there's probably ever been on the face of the planet. And you know what? Frankly, you better have a president who understands bankruptcy and what it takes and what it does and how to avoid it and how to get through it if you do go bankrupt. Because at some point the world is going to call in the chips, be it the Chinese, the Saudi Arabians, Western Europeans, or whoever else is holding our debt. Somebody is going to call that in eventually. The Bank of the Bilderbergs or whoever. That stuff is going to happen, and people need to understand it. So we're not fooling around here. $20 trillion in debt. And I think, I'll have to look it up, but I thought we were only like $9 trillion in debt when Barack came into office. So he's obviously doubled the debt in his 7 years in office, and that certainly is not a great thing. Something we certainly need to be looking at and thinking about as we move into election 2016 and decide to pick a president who either A, knows a little bit more about the economy and how it works, or B, doesn't know anything about the economy and just keeps sucking money off the federal government and making money with their crony capitalism, right? All right, so we can move from high talk debt and move on to something else that happened last week. So we had a suicide bomber in Saudi Arabia near the U.S. consulate that was thwarted. So yet another Ramadan bombathon. I think it ended actually July 4th, but this was just before. So who celebrates the religious holidays with mass killings and bombings? Seems a little odd. Anyways, if people want to talk about that. But there was a story I put on the Daily Drift this last week that was about the bomb that went off in Central Park. Now, it's kind of been downplayed a little bit. They're not calling it terrorism. Tests conducted on explosive that hurt this guy. Now, investigators are conducting a forensic examination to identify the explosive compound that blew up in Central Park, seriously injuring the foot of a man who stepped on it. Well, if a man's stepping on a bomb in Central Park, and allegedly he was doing some climbing on some rocks or something that was there, and this bomb package of some sort was like slightly buried, not seen, and when he stepped on it, he blew off his foot or severely injured his foot. The homemade explosive had been inside a plastic bag when it went off on Sunday. This was Sunday this last week here. And investigators believe it was created by an explosive hobbyist or experimenter who had some knowledge of chemistry. If this doesn't sound like somebody saying, "Oh, don't worry about it, it wasn't terrorism," who experiments with a bomb in the middle of Central Park? Can somebody tell me that? The 19-year-old man who was injured was identified by his grandfather as Connor Golden, a University of Miami student who was in from Fairfax, Virginia, I guess. He was walking the park with two friends when he stepped on a rock covering the explosive. He was sent to surgery afterward. The blast left some people believing it was part of the July 4th celebration. If that's not terrorism, I don't know what is. Even if it's not a jihadist, it's somebody putting an explosive that triggered by what? Somebody stepping on it like a bomb that we would find in wartime? Bear in mind here, this is going to have repercussions because somebody, I think, is experimenting, all right, experimenting with how that trigger could work and where will you see the next one. Is this an IED? Is this the first step of IEDs here in the United States of America? You need to be aware of that. I'm just saying. So be aware that story is up at thedailydrift.com. Make sure you go over and check that one out. And, of course, one of my favorite stories this last week was about Sailorgate. Now, if you don't remember what Sailorgate was, we have such short attention spans as news consumers here in America that sometimes you'll forget very quickly what is in the news cycle. Sailorgate was the two boats that, U.S. Navy boats and their sailors that surrendered to the Iranians back in January, of course. So the commander is now saying that due to the Barack Obama-Iranian deal, he felt it was going to be safe and his sailors wouldn't be in danger if he surrendered because they wanted this deal to go through as well. That goes to show you, this is Barack Obama and his agenda putting our own guys at risk. And is this the kind of military people we're putting into positions of power when they're making a decision not based on what's good for the military and for their men? They're doing it based on the politics of it. This is as dangerous as it gets for our military, folks. Guys in the military should not be making decisions based on what's good for Barack Obama's political agenda. They're supposed to be doing what's best for the country and for their men. This is an outrage. People should be as angry as I am about this. And Sailorgate, it's not just another Barack scandal. This is what you'll get more of with a Hillary Clinton, too. This is where they put politics and cronyism and who's best. And this whole Iranian deal is about money. This latest scam of Boeing selling a whole bunch of planes now to Iran. It's money. Who is getting the kickbacks? And you have to ask yourself, is Barack Obama's post-presidential foundation that will rival the Clinton Foundation when he's done with his presidency, is this what it is? Is he getting all these paybacks? Will there be money funneling into his foundation because of all the decisions he's made in office? Is this how corrupt we have become? Have we become the Rome of the modern age, where everything is about corruption? The heck with the people, the heck with the military. Let's stab everybody in the back as long as I'm making a buck. That's what seems to be happening here, and we have to find our way around it. And that means a big, massive, huge change. And there we go. I'm right back to Trump again. But yes, that's exactly right. I'm back to Trump. We need a change. I don't know that Trump. Yeah, I could be wrong. I've said before it's a 50-50 chance. He could be as big a liar and as big a crony capitalist as anyone else. But there is a slight chance that he will do what he says and that he is what he says he is. You're not going to get that with a Hillary Clinton. So make sure that you're doing what you have to do to make sure we get rid of Hillary Clinton this fall and that we don't end up with another 48 years of Barack Obama, of course. Okay, well then let's finish out this segment with some good news, I think. Let's talk about June gun sales crush previous record. FBI reports that more than 2.1 million gun checks were done. Most FBI gun checks of any June since the current system went into effect. It's an increase of over 600,000 checks over the previous record set last year. So that's a huge, huge jump. And that's good, right? No matter what Barack Obama and the crazy Democrats want to do to try and remove your Second Amendment rights, we're putting millions and millions of more guns into American hands on a daily basis, right? Or a monthly basis anyways. So that's good news. So if you are not a gun owner, make sure you go out and buy one. If you're not a CCW holder, make sure you go out and get your permit and do all those things. Because you know what? An armed society is not only a polite society, but it's good for protection of the United States and your family when you do this. All right, let's end this segment, and we'll be back in a minute. So we'll see you on the other side of the break. See you in a minute.
I'm Joe Gammon, here to tell you that Pat Kelly, our expert on heating, cooling, and self-start generators, has opened a new business called K&B Energy Solutions. With a beautiful new office and warehouse in Livonia, Pat Kelly is ready to handle all your HVAC problems and questions. And when you're wanting to install a new self-start generator, he handles only the best American-made brands with the finest warranties available. You've heard Pat Kelly do this radio show with me many times, and many of you have used his services and trust his expertise. He is back in business and needs your calls to make it grow. If you're in line for an air conditioning check, Pat Kelly's service technicians will make sure you don't have a problem on the hot summer days. And it's a pretty smart thing to do. Give Pat Kelly a call at 734-666-0101. That number again is 734 888-666-0101.
Get to ABC Warehouse for the best deals in town on appliances, TVs, premium mattresses, furniture, and more. Now through Saturday, the deals on Sealy may never be bigger. You can get free delivery and setup, plus free removal of your old bedding, plus 2 years, no interest, and free TVs with many mattress sets. And nobody sells Sealy for less than ABC Warehouse. Right now, get a Sealy Posturepedic Deluxe Queen mattress set for just $397. ABC Warehouse, the closest thing to wholesale. Get to ABC Warehouse for store-wide savings of up to 65%. Hurry in for the best deals in town and factory direct discounts on top brand TVs from Samsung, Vizio, LG, Sony, Sharp, and more. ABC Warehouse will not be undersold. Now through Saturday, get a super value on an LED 1080p 50-inch TV, now just $378. See the entire sale ad online at abcwarehouse.com. The deals are always in the house. ABC Warehouse, the closest thing to wholesale.
The Manchester Chicken Broil is back. 63 great years. Thursday, July 21st between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. Don't miss the fun and the food at the Manchester Chicken Broil. $9 in advance or $10 at the gate. Then enjoy a golden brown basted in buttered chicken. Secret recipe coleslaw, a bun, radish, and chips. Convenient drive-through service. Take M52 to Manchester and follow the signs. Better yet, follow the smoke to the old Alumni Memorial Field. ManchesterChickenBroil.org.
You're listening to The Drift on Wham Talk 1600. Join in the conversation at 734-822-1600. Now, back to your host, Gary Wellings.
Okay, and welcome back. Thanks for tuning in to catch The Drift. If you haven't figured it out by now, we're actually pre-recorded this show today because I had some things that I have to get done. My life seems to be getting busier and busier, and I don't know why. But let me assure you, pre-recording a show is far more difficult than doing it live, and I miss having my listeners call in all the time, so it's brutal. Let's take care of a little business. If this heat wave is bothering you, make sure you get your air conditioner checked up, and you can do that at AAA Service Network. You can reach them at 1-800-FIXITNOW.com, or you can call them at 734-663-6200. It's been a really hot week. Make sure your air conditioner is running right. They have a $20 coupon in the Current. Go to currentonline.com and scroll through to the back page, and you can call them about all the different coupons we have on there. Appliance repair, drain cleaning, standby generators, heating, cooling, softeners, you name it, AAA Service Network can fix it. So again, call them, 734-663-6200, or just go online, 1-800-FIXITNOW.com. All right, so we've done our fair share of beating up on Hillary and the FBI and James Comey through the first 3 segments of the show here. And but let's take another look at the other big travesty in our country. The other big problem with our country today is the media. The media is bought and paid for by someone. Does that make you say, Gary, you're putting on your tinfoil hat again? Well, yes. I don't know who all these people are. I don't know how they're exactly connected. But you know this is a giant cabal of people trying to rule the world, or at least the United States anyways. And so you see the corruption in the media by the way they one-sidedly and report the news and how they're biased against conservatives and Republicans. And let's be honest, they're biased against anybody who has common sense and the American people at heart. Why is that? Why do they want to divide and conquer? Why do they want to go on all this special interest stuff? That's because there's something going on, and we all know it, and we feel it, and the mask is coming off here again. We see it. This has got to change, folks. And this is why I'm rolling the dice with the Trump, because you know what? I know what I'm getting with Hillary. I'm getting the end of the country as we know it. You can forget having Second Amendment rights if Hillary's president for 48 years, right? But I digress. Let's go back to the media and how corrupt they are. A good example of this is Donald tweets, right? Donald Trump is always tweeting. He's the master of social media. This is how he gets into the news headlines and these news cycles repeatedly all week long. We talk Trump. And there's a reason for it, because he's smart enough to know that the media are going to report on that. They're looking at him as a weakness, and they're going to report on it. He's twisted it around, though, and made them use it to give him free publicity. Now, the biasness comes out from the progressives and the liberals and the Democrats in this way. There was a tweet he put out this last week, and it was about Clinton being the most corrupt of politicians with a pile of cash and a six-pointed red star and the meme saying, most corrupt. And of course,